Welcome back to class, everybody. I am Ethan from the weebologypodcast, and today I am talking about a topic within the Naruto verse that I feel very strongly about, but I feel like does not get a lot of play on any tube in general, and as far as I can tell, not a lot of people really talk about it. And that is, what is up with the fact that both Naruto and Sasuke, post losing their entire families, are basically left to their own devices? To me, this seems like an absolutely ridiculous thing for the village to do, especially in the case of both Naruto and Sasuke, where Naruto's family dies trying to protect the village and protect, the Jinchuriki, and Sasuke's family dies by Itachi coming in and quelling this coup on orders from the third Hokage in the village. And so the question I think everyone should be asking is, after both of those things happened, and you really think those are both pretty positive things for the village, right? Like stopping a upcoming civil war and also, stopping the rampage of the Nine Tails, why would they not take care of both of these two, young children? In Naruto's case, he's literally a baby, and in Sasuke's case, he's, not very old. Basically not even entered into academy yet, right? And so I just always felt that was so strange, like just leaving these kids to their own devices. And you kind of see that in the main show, right? Like Naruto acts up as a little kid because he's literally on his own. He's got literally no father figure at all. Occasionally the third Hokage and some of these people will come by and talk to him, and he's ostracized and stuff like that. And then, Sasuke's got this just insane brother complex where he just absolutely wants to kill the guy. And so I feel like, in my opinion, what should have happened is Hiruzen, Sarutobi, otherwise known as the third Hokage, should have taken them both in and raised them as brothers or as his adopted grandchildren, children, whatever you want. And the reason I think this really, really works and fits, even within the current story, is, and I do really believe this is a missed opportunity. I feel like if canon was similar to this, it maybe would have felt a little more, the flow would have been there. It would have felt a lot more congruent. For instance, I think if you have both Naruto and Sasuke growing up in the third Hokage's house, there would be a lot more of this brotherly rivalry between the two of them. For instance, in the canon show, Naruto's just a complete massive loser in the beginning of the show, right? Can't get anything right, and Sasuke is this absolute genius. So the question is, obviously that does spur a lot of the, later on when Naruto is catching up rapidly to Sasuke, even though he's got all these advantages, that definitely leads to some of his downfall and some of his, willingness to go away from the village and kind of go work with Orochimaru. But imagine if they're both living under the Sarutobi house, and so basically they grow up as brothers. They have Konohamaru as this nagging little annoying brother, right? And so it kind of builds that rivalry as well. Konohamaru has an even stronger reason to look up to Naruto, to want to beat him, be stronger, become Hokage first. But also I think it really seals up the story, right? I think it's absolutely ridiculous that they left the son of an Hokage and a Jinchuriki to live on his own. I think, that could have led to a lot of problems for them, right? Imagine if Naruto goes rogue, starts getting pissed off because basically everyone's a douchebag to him, and he just decides to leave the village, right? That is their absolute strongest weapon, essentially, and a large deterrent for any other village to even attack them, is the fact that they're the Nine Tails Jinchuriki and have QB within the village. And then Sasuke, he's the absolute last of this absolutely famed, if you really want to get into it, ninja clan that helped form the Leaf, right? It was the Senju and the Uchiha coming together to create the village hidden in the leaves. And leaving these two people completely off to their own devices is completely insane to me. The only other option I think could have happened basically was Kakashi being put in charge of both of them, and that would have also been extremely solid to the story. But I want to really focus on the Hiruzen angle because I think it would be very cool and would make more sense why they both went off to train with their various Sannin. So, for instance, if Naruto knew that he was the fourth Hokage's son, he could have this kind of double clout with the village, right? So he would be living as a Sarutobi, as the third's grandson, but he is also the fourth son, right? And so you could really have some resentment there between Sasuke and him, because Sasuke's whole family just got murked, right? And they're looked at as kind of villains at this point, and really throughout the history of the Leaf, they've kind of looked down on the Uchiha and treated them sort of, let's just say, badly. I mean, starting with the second Hokage and then the third Hokage not really doing his job here and like trying to mend those fences, sort of leaving it up to Danzo and all the kind of bad guys in the village to make up their policy. But I think if they're both under the same roof, I would feel like their story and their interactions would have had a lot more meaning. At least when I first watched Naruto, I'm obviously a fan of Naruto because we are following him as the main protag, but I'm thinking of Sasuke as like, who's this douchebag, and why does he even, give this guy the time of day really at all, right? But he's always like super into like following Sasuke. He's like very interested in Sasuke, right? And so, in canon, I don't really quite get it. Like, yeah, he's a genius and whatever, but he's just like super after him, right? And then I don't know. I just feel like the fact that they both go and would study under the Sannin, who are the students of the third, like I think that really strengthens that. And then even farther down, the Sannin students become, is Naruto's father, obviously, for Jiraiya's student. And then that would make you want, it would make even more sense, in my opinion, that they kind of followed that trajectory, right? Growing up under the third, basically being told stories about the Sannin, sort of that kind of thing. I really think it kind of ties together the story and gives it a much bigger impact and, basically packs a bigger punch. First of all, when the third Hokage dies, because in canon, I didn't really feel that, invested in him at that point. Mostly because they decided to give all the exposition about the third Hokage way after he was dead. So that was pretty cool. But, makes his death a lot bigger of a hit. It makes Jiraiya's death a bigger hit. It makes the split between Naruto and Sasuke and basically the ending of Team 7 a way bigger hit as well. And then also, I think, does a lot to make the forming of the new three-way deadlock and then basically the collapse and reforming of the new three-way deadlock even that much more kind of, let's just say, punchy. I'm really liking punchy for now. So I think this is like a really cool kind of theory, is like, what if Naruto and Sasuke were both raised by Hiruzen rather than left to their own devices as little children? And then obviously, I think Hiruzen should really have taken a little bit more of responsibility for what happened to Sasuke. I know Itachi basically said, just make sure he doesn't, get killed or whatever by Danzo and all the people in the Leaf. And I just don't feel like that was enough. I mean, this kid's left by himself to hate his brother, to get stronger, to kill his brother. I think absolutely ridiculous. So I just wanted to kind of put this out here as like kind of an intro to this idea. If you guys really like it, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you want me to do like kind of a full what if series of like sort of each of the steps and kind of some of the scenes I believe would happen if this were to take place. And let me know if you like had any other people you think that they could have been adopted by that would be interesting. Please like, comment, subscribe. Hit us up in Twitter at weebologyp.